Let me be absolutely clear. The City of Chicago is ready to host the 2024 Democratic National Convention. As many of you know, the city has a long history in hosting conventions and large events like this, and this will be the 26th time that the City of Chicago has had the honor of hosting a national party convention.
Planning for this convention has been going on for well over a year. That planning, which required the help of our federal, state, and local partners, has included thousands of hours of analyzing, training, and working with the public to develop a comprehensive safety plan that was released last month. The Secret Service also has a proven track record in coordinating security for national special security events. The DNC marks the 79th NSSE. So far this year, the Secret Service was in charge of the State of the Union, NATO, and the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee that took place last month.
There are so many moving parts, as you saw up in Milwaukee, that we're seeing in Chicago. Of all of them, which one gives you the most pause? What's the singular question you'd like to have an answer to today that we can't know until next week?
Well, nothing gives me a pause. I think just like we were in Milwaukee, we'll be very successful in Chicago. We have the greatest partners you could ask for, just like in Milwaukee. So I reiterate, nothing gives me a pause on this convention that's going to take place next week.
One of the apparent breakdowns from the events in Butler, Pennsylvania was a lack of visuals or blind spots that occurred at that incident. Can you talk about what role the pod cameras will play for the city of Chicago and how many of those have been under repair recently?
So what I can tell you about the way the pod cameras are used, we use them all across the city in every district. So our ATC rooms, our area technology teams, along with our SDSC rooms in the district, we can look at every location, almost every location within the district where we know there's a possibility that something can come up. But what I can tell you is PSA is working on camera repairs and installations if necessary. So these installations have been going on for quite some time, and they continue to do that.
Are there areas of under repair still, or areas of your concern?
Well, that's across the city. And the locations that you're specifically talking about, we have security measures around those locations to ensure that we don't have a major incident like that occur.
What do you say to concerns that people might have about, the security lapses that happened in Pennsylvania that allowed former President Trump to be shot? If people have questions about, is the Secret Service really ready and have everything covered? Were there lessons that were learned from that put you guys on a greater sense of making sure we have everything covered?
We talk about that all the time. If you're not learning and trying to be innovative and creative in law enforcement, you're not doing your job. So obviously all of us in law enforcement are trying to get better every day. But as far as comparing Butler to a national special security event, you can't compare it. This is a whole of government approach. We've been planning for this convention for well over a year, so we can't compare the two.
We work closely with our federal partners, JTTF, and also the Bureau of Counterterrorism. Any intel that we get, we make adjustments. Any information that we think the public needs to know or something that we need to warn the public about, we will absolutely put that out there. Right now, we're doing the same thing. Anything that we see, we create plans around it for preventive measures for one. Right? A lot of times we'll hear threats or we'll see things. We look at the credibility of it, but obviously we take them all seriously. So when we see something that we think could be volatile, we get out in front of it and we make sure that we put preventive measures in place.